So, hey guys, what's going on? I am sitting down here with my brother, Emmanuel, and we are here just talk publishing. We thought it'd be kind of a cool idea. I don't know how we really came to this. It's like, yeah, or
our last interview, we were having a good conversation.
Yeah. And then we were just, I think a little while ago, we were talking about, I was like, man, we should have just recorded that conversation because we hit some good points. So there's not really going to be a big framework to this. We're just going to kind of talk publishing and some of the things we've noticed in different groups and just kind of roll with it. So, let's just kind of dive into it. So what should we discuss first? You want
to go from like where publishing was maybe a year or two ago and then how it is now, or like, I think you look at like in different eras almost, right? Like,
that's kind of a good way of looking at it.
There's like I guess the one that I know the difference is like the promo code era to now. Before there was, I know, different ways of just publishing books, but
could we even could we compare it to like the golden era, to the new generation, to the attitude era, to the let me know in the comments if you understand those references.
The golden era, what's the was that like when you first started getting into publishing? Is that what you consider like the golden era? Is like where you could just throw up any like 10,000 word book and it would just sell?
10,000, bro. 5,000.
Oh, 5,000. Okay.
Right. That's what I started with. Right. With Came Out of Master. It was 5,000 words.
Okay.
I'd say, that's insane. Right. If you think back to it, like this was 2015, 16. When it was like you throw up a 5,000 word book, and like thank God so much has changed and evolved, whether it's the marketplace or just us as publishers wanting to build a proper business around a customer versus just trying to make money off Amazon. But like from 5,000 to today, you're doing like 30, 40,000 words. It's a massive difference. And then you mentioned like the different loopholes, quote unquote, that people have used in the past, and nowadays it's like pretty much 100% following Amazon's terms of service.
So you don't get kicked off.
There's right, but there's no real. I don't know if people are still. I'm sure there's people who still use loopholes, but I'm not aware of.
Are you talking like black hat stuff?
Yeah, like I'm sure there's always going to be those type of people around, but like it's just, I think it's cleaned up so much from way back in the day.
Yeah, I know Amazon's really cracked down on that too. I'll speak to some VAs and like they can stuff that they tried years ago, like review swaps and all that. It's almost within a day Amazon will take those away.
Okay, let me ask you this: why are you talking VAs?
Huh?
Why are you talking to VAs?
Because I was looking to get someone to either help me run my Facebook groups and ads. So we were just kind of talking about.
Probably I like, and this is kind of sidetracked, but I'd say like those type of VAs are the worst people to talk to if you want them to run your business like that. Right.
Well,
and not all of them, 100%.
Well, no, but like I know these guys are legitimate because these are the guys I've been working with since day one.
No, I know, but what's their philosophy?
I don't know. It's whatever Abdul thinks taught them.
No, but like you have to understand, like those type of, and this is just from the experience of I've been working with different VAs and assistants, and right, it's just their philosophy is like, we're just trying to do this. Cut corners, cut this, like get the result any way we can type of thing. So they might not do everything that you want as up to par as you want or you expect. That's why I wouldn't work with, and like it's just from running. I've ran into issues with hiring. It's like if somebody was a VA for whatever promotional thing that they were doing, I've tried to work with them for something else that I needed done, and it's just the mentality is wrong. It's I don't know, and it might not be everybody, like I said, but it's that's for something like that, I'd hire fresh and clean. Like, you don't need anybody with any publishing experience. I'd rather take somebody from outside of the whole publishing space and hire them to run like a social media account. That's what I did. I had this kid for running. He was running social media for Blackness for a very, very short period of time, but like he was just into the niche. And
yeah, because like, my God, that takes, just with everything between work, kids, and like just to run like a Facebook group, like mine's pretty small, but just like the time to come up with content, and like it's just very time consuming.
So okay, that makes sense.
It's like, I feel like I could just use my time to grow other parts of my business, and not, even though that's a very small part that will help you.
But you're kind of in that, for your business right now, you're in the, I should be doing everything right now. No, your business is an infant. It just needs all of your attention all of the time in all roles. It doesn't need, you don't need to be handing off, quote unquote, to a nanny yet. Right? Like, where you say the Facebook group, another challenge that I'd bring up on this case is I'll use Driven Hard as an example.
Yeah.
Do you think I've ever had issues coming up with content for Driven Hard, like ideas and stuff like that?
No, because I mean,
why?
That's different. Because
no, it's not.
Yes, it is. Because
no, it's not.
One, you're talking a YouTube channel.
No, content. I said content. I didn't say video content. I said content, and you're talking about content for your Facebook group. So content is content. But why have I never, like, bro, I could list off 100 different video ideas, content ideas for
mountain, you could drive up,
even non-driving, like content ideas. Because why? Because I'm like absorbed in it. I am one with it. I am like, it is everything I do. It's my passion, is what I want to spend all my time on. Right? It was the same with my guides. I never had issues talking about stuff or coming up with different ideas or things like that, because it was just like, I was just one with it. Right? Give me a niche that I'm not one with. And all of a sudden, like when I did programming, God, man, if you want to see me struggle coming up with ideas, it was for computer programming stuff. Like, I was just like, I'd go in there and I'd look at the groups and the discussions and stuff and try to like, and I was just like, I can turn my computer on, guys. Right? Like, right? Like, it's just, so I think it's when you're disconnected from the niche, you'll struggle a lot more with coming up with content and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just
kind of see where I was going with that.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. It's yeah, because you just don't want stuff to be repetitive. Like,
right?
There's only so many motivational quotes that you can send a day.
I think that
shit becomes redundant.
Well, those are. Yeah, motivational quotes are the worst. Save that for Instagram. Right? Like, if you're in it, like, can we pick a niche so we can use proper examples here?
Yeah. Let's just do dog training.
Okay, great. Now, my stance on dogs. I don't know what your stance is.
I just did that because the twins always use that one. That's the first one that came to mind.
So if you're talking about dog training, there could be quotes, but wouldn't it be better to talk about, like, here's what I did with my dog today in a way that's going to add value to the community, or I just tried this new, new grooming technique, with my dog today. Things like that, where it's, it's relevant and it's fresh. It's not a motivational quote or whatever the case is. That would be kind of like the standard BS that you would see in lazy groups or lazy pages or whatever. I don't know. Does that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, what do you guys think in the comments? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I don't know.
Sure.
Push back if you don't fully agree. Like, I'm just kind of like running it through my head.
Yeah, I mean, different tricks and techniques of, I want to get my dog to do this or to stop biting the couch, or, what's the best way to train him quickly in 30 days, or,
right.
Just, I guess there's endless things. I guess it just comes down to your first point of, if you're not ingrained in the niche, and
if it's
not something you're passionate about, then
yeah,
you will struggle to come up with content.
Yeah, it's because you're not doing it all the time. I think
You
like
need to be invested.
I think, and that's probably honestly, if we look at, I think we started this discussion as like, okay, what are some of the changes?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would probably be number one.
Is that people aren't invested in the niches that they
now pick. Because you're not trying to just please Amazon's algorithms.
Yeah.
To make money, to build a business, you actually have to build a business around your books. So you have to pick a niche that's something you're excited about, something you want to be involved in. Otherwise, whereas before it was pick whatever niche is making the most money on Amazon, go there and steal a piece of that pie. That was basically the self-publishing formula before.
Yeah.
Right? But now it's like, don't worry about the niche that's making the most money on Amazon. Who cares, right? It's pick the one that you're most excited about, that you want to build a business around, because you'll make more money doing that than you will picking the most profitable niche.
Yeah, and plus you won't lose interest over time.
That's why you'll make more money, because you'll always be interested. You'll be trying new things. You'll be right, like if sewing was like the most profitable niche right now. Like, how long are you going to be interested in sewing, even though it's paying you $10,000 to $20,000 a month? Yes, you could always hire people.
Yeah.
But like, what fun would that be? Isn't that the equivalent of just working like a regular job, 9 to 5?
Yeah, you're just investing that much time, it's just gonna
like, why not do stuff that it's exciting?
Yeah, your motivation and whatnot, it's just slowly gonna dissipate.
Right.
So yeah, no.
I don't know. That's just how I've always kind of envisioned, and that's like what I, that's the whole premise of the new program.
So basically, right? From back then to now, you can't just pick any cookie cutter niche that's doing well. You have to build a business around people. Okay, what else would you say has changed from that time to now? What about in terms of the quality of the book and the inside, and not?
But back in the day, quality wasn't important. Nobody
really
cared.
Okay.
No, nobody cared at all, including myself. I cared about the one niche, right? My guides.
Yeah.
Because why did I care? What?
You like video games,
right? Because I was like the niche.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to build a real business around it.
Yeah.
So you care about it. I didn't care about any of the other ones, right? Because you weren't really building. So when you're more personally invested in it, you care more, and quality goes up, right? But and I also think, and nobody can really confirm this, but quality books last longer on Amazon now. One, because they'll get better reviews, but apparently Amazon can, they can kind of read through it, and
they can
see.
They've gotten better too at copyright material too, as well. I find, especially just like reading posts from people in different groups and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If you try to let's do a cookbook, for example. If you don't change up the recipe, because like pretty much every recipe is a rip off of something else on the internet. So if you don't, they'll pick up on that pretty quick, and you'll get.
But like the recipe, or not so much the ingredients, but
not so much the ingredients,
the actual step by
step of it, and if you don't change the name of it, then
and those recipe books that can be tricky just because of that one reason, right? Like, there's like, you take something simple like a lasagna. Well, I guess there's probably a billion ways to make a lasagna, but there's probably the 5 most common ways, which most people would go to. So how do you make your lasagna unique yet still taste good? Right?
Yeah.
I would hate to have my name on a recipe book or publish a recipe book without trying all the recipes myself. Like,
people call you out on that.
Right. But then once again, like, I just love cooking. So maybe that's like looking at it from like a interest, passion aspect, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Right? The standards would have to be higher for me, just because I'm like, I don't want, like, that recipe sucks. I don't want that. Right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This goes back to it. I don't know why, like, people shouldn't publish stuff that they're not excited about.
No, I mean, you should make a book back in the day, a keto cookbook for computer programmers.
Good God almighty. That'd be like the worst.
between programming here because keto.
Right? Like keto diet for computer programmers.
Yeah.
Right? Just grab two of the biggest niches right now. And just,
What about to go back to that original? What about how about reviews? Still important from back then until now,
I think
what's changed in that?
The like obviously still important because customer feedback's always important, and the social proof of reviews is always important. Yeah. I think if you take a look at, how do I explain this? I can see it in my head, but if you take a look at the baseline of how, or the basic understanding of getting reviews and how to get them has never changed. It's always been the same. There's just been so much, crap loaded on top of it.
Yeah.
That people are seeing that instead of like, okay, it's just, yes, you have no audience. You have to build your audience and then get reviews from them. And you just have to keep grinding away and doing that over and over again to start getting some organic reviews naturally. So I don't think that's changed, because that was still the message when I started in 2016, but there were just so many other BS ways on top of it that were easier. But I think the basic way of how to get it hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I think it's just coming into more light now. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then obviously that has a direct correlation with ads. I mean, I think ads are more significant now.
100%.
Back then they were, maybe just because people didn't know how great they are to boost sales.
No, and sorry, I just look outside because,
Oh, you've seen another bear.
I think the ads platform has changed so much. We were just talking about this upstairs, right? From like when I started, it was like 3-4 steps. Like it was just, I can't even really remember what the actual platform looked like, right? What was it called back then? Amazon AMS, right?
Yeah.
But it's changed so much. It's so much more sophisticated. It's probably still the absolute worst ad platform on the internet.
Really?
Amazon ads for books is garbage. Like it's just everything about the platform sucks. Like it's horrible.
If you compare it to Facebook ads and just like how deep,
to any other serious ad
detail you can.
Yeah, it's just even running them for FBA is better.
Oh really?
Yeah,
around FBA,
so it's just, but it is what it is, right? It's cheap. It's still relatively cheap.
I'm surprised they haven't made ads available for audiobooks yet.
Well, that's because they have to get rid of Audible and ACX first. They'll kill that just like they killed CreateSpace, because it doesn't make sense to have it.
Yeah, just have Amazon.
It'll all be under
audiobooks.
KDP.
Yeah, under KDP.
Yeah, it'll all be under KDP. So that's why. Hopefully that happens this year. I see that happening this year, right? Because they killed off CreateSpace because it just didn't make sense for them. Right.
CreateSpace was always
paperbacks.
That was always a part of
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, it was just like Audible or ACX. Okay. Right, you go into a different platform.
Because
customers can buy the book from CreateSpace or from Amazon, which grabs it from CreateSpace. It's works the exact same as the ACX Audible platforms.
Yeah, because it's what's strange about it is the fact that if you look at whatever book, the audiobook is there for you to click and buy. So it's like, why don't?
Well,
there must be maybe it's like a money or legal thing.
No, it's just because it's probably just being like, look at Amazon, look how big they are, and look at what they're grabbing Whole Foods, they're Jeff's trying to go to space, like they got so much stuff going on.
Yeah, it's probably just like
it's probably like okay, it brings in a few $100 million. It's not really a big but I could see that because they're not really what type of significant changes has happened to the Audible and ACX platform to enhance either the publisher's way of publishing or their customer's experience? Not really anything over the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
If anything, for publishers, it's been worse.
How so? How do you?
Well, I was going to be like trying to get a hold of customer service, but then we also have
Okay.
we also have like
more so like
2020 issues,
yeah.
Cutting back staff and stuff like that. But like, like look how long it takes for books to get approved and all like those type of things. So it's just like you can tell it's like it's not Amazon's focus to keep running ACX and Audible at full steam. Clearly, it's going to get absorbed because CreateSpace was the similar pattern.
Oh, okay.
Right, but it's all spectacle. So, but I don't know. That's what I kind of have always thought. It just doesn't make sense to run.
Maybe over time.
Like I could see it happening this year. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, but it'll just simplify things.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah, to have it all in
totally.
It makes sense.
So much better.
Yeah.
Then you can just run ads. Everything's covered. When they buy your audiobook because they because they came to your page from an ad, you now know that ad actually worked. Because right now, you don't. Right?
Like there has to be some direct correlation from ads. Like they obviously will see, oh, this is an audio book. I'm gonna buy that. Like I know it does. I've tried that. I've stopped running ads for a month, and I have seen sales drop, but there's no way to track it. But it does affect it. Like it does.
And that's so that's the thing we could talk about ads. It's like that's why it's like with Amazon ads, if they're not profitable, that doesn't matter.
No, yeah,
it does not matter if the ads are not profitable.
All my Spanish audiobooks I have in the I guess Spain audio unspent ads. I have all those books running ads to it, and they'll get impressions and stuff, and then that's the only way I can see those books getting in front of those people. So I mean, is that my boost for audiobook sales for those? Maybe, I don't know, but I mean,
but the biggest picture is why you're making more money than you're spending on ads.
Yeah,
right. And this was I was explaining that to like a student. It's like you don't just look at one avenue. You have to look at your total book revenue.
Yeah.
If it's good, and now if one ad is like
500%,
like 500% ACOS, and like you're not selling that book, there's things you have to look at, right? But overall, like if you have a ACOS of 60% for a couple books, but when you look at your sales for those books for ebook, paperback, and ACX, and you're making good money off those books, keep running your freaking ads. Yeah. Because even though on paper it doesn't look like it's profitable, you're making money because customers can click on your ad and then, maybe they shop around, do something else, and they buy your book through a different avenue platform, but they still saw it.
Well, yeah, or just tinker with it. Maybe there's a keyword that's not as profitable as the other one. Just, mix and match.
And that's why it's so hard to quote unquote teach ads as a general. Like, it's not just black and white. There's so many different variables to look at.
Yeah.
When it comes to Amazon ads.
You need to look more. It's funny because there's so much that goes into it, but it's still the ad application itself is trash compared to other companies, right? So, I mean, what would you say is the best? Just off topic, what would you say is the best ad?
Not experienced enough with it, man. Yeah, Google, YouTube, which is the same. Facebook. I don't have enough experience to like say which is the best platform. I think they all have their advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
Or depending on what you're looking, you're looking at and going or doing, right? Yeah. And they change so much. If you guys have something that you want discussed, let us know in the comments, and we'll be sure to do that for the next round of this.
Yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe as well.
Yeah, appreciate it. So my first book, Emotional Habits. Do you think I talked to the writer after I ordered the book?
Where's the writer from?
The hell if I know. Oh, Upwork. South Africa.
No, but did you find him on Upwork, Fiverr,
no. What's the name of the company? Write Articles for Me. Or Us. Write Articles for Us. Something like that.
How did you find it?
Through KMM. Oh,
okay. Oh, they had their own list.
No, it was like it's another writing company.
Oh.
I wasn't. They were decent. It's just they used the wrong English. because they were over in Africa. They used European. Is it European or UK English?
Probably
the
UK.
proper English, so not North American English.
Okay.
And so as I'm reading it, I'm like, it sucks, but it was just a different English. That could have been my bad, but it could have been what they only offer. Who knows?
Okay.
Didn't use them again. So okay, do you think I spoke to them again after I ordered the book?
I would say no.
Nope, not. Second book, fitness, weight loss.
Yeah.
I ordered. So this I'm
Same
using
guy?
from Fiverr. Okay.
Okay.
And this was the first time that I realized hire an expert in the field. Don't necessarily just look for a good writer. Okay.
An expert in the
So,
field.
so I looked for a weight loss. Like I looked for a fitness trainer. She was a personal trainer. Okay. And so
that had to have some writing experience.
no, because I ordered and I used an editor and a proofreader as well. Because I was going freelance, so I had to do everything myself.
But
So
I mean,
she
content wise,
any idiot can write a book. Anyone can, especially on something that they know about. Write me a book on the football season of 1995. Right? Couldn't you do that? Couldn't you do that based on your research and your knowledge? You could put together a 10,000 word book on that, wouldn't you? Like in a couple weeks?
Yeah, probably a day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right? Like it's not hard to write a book. It's hard to write a really good book. So she wrote the book on personal training because she was a personal trainer.
Oh.
And then I hired a proofreader and editor to
Yeah.
clean it up. And then I published it. Did I work with her to write it? No.
Man, that was
Right?
just compare that to like now is just like
Right? And then
That's a lot.
so the next thing is the what was the third book I did? How to write a book. So this was the first cover Mariana made for me. How to write a book. And then, so where did I find this person? I can't even remember. I can't remember.
Jared.
No, to write the book?
No, cover.
No, Mariana made the cover.
Oh, and I was in after.
And then, so I can't remember where I found that person, but I didn't work with them at all.
Yeah.
Right? But then the fourth book is when I started doing my guides.
Okay. That's when you kind of figured out the process.
Page by page, I worked with them.
Yeah.
And I formatted the whole thing myself. Like, yeah, and then that's when I realized, and those books did the best.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, oh man, working with writers is absolutely key to get crucial. The book, right? But I also had a crazy picture of exactly what I wanted the book to be.
Yeah.
And laid out and like, so in my mind, so I'm up on Skype calls with, the girl was Rebecca. I remember Rebecca. And she wasn't a big writer or anything. She had her own business. She was just looking for extra money, right? Yeah. So like I started working with her and she would send me back the pages and all of that. And so that really taught me working with your writer when you have a vision and idea for your book of how it's best going to serve your customer. Working with your writer is the absolute best way to ensure that is connected, right? And there's no reason that's why those books did better than all the other books, because I was like emotionally invested in the book.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a lot of trial and error and just figuring out what works at the beginning, right? So
it's like just life, right?
Yeah, well, pretty much. And so, but yeah, basically just kind of piggybacking on that is just so you look at from that process of just working with a writer to where some ghostwriting companies have all that under one platform now that you can literally pick.
It's massive. You didn't have that before because most ghostwriting companies just didn't want you to work with their writers.
Yeah.
Right?
They didn't want you to cherry pick them and think that you'd hire them for yourself.
Right. But being able to actually work and communicate with the person who's doing your book during the process, not just at the end when they've written 30,000 words and you're like, no, this totally all sucks. Make me a new book that costs them more money and time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the writer's pissed off. But if you're able to work with them and make those changes and adjustments throughout the entire process, less revisions, and you get a way better product in the end, which is...
Yeah, especially for a book that I have ordered with an urban writer. I'm waiting till April because this writer that I really liked, and she's she's passionate about the stuff that we were writing about, and they've
cool.
sold well. So I'm just waiting for her to free up, just because I really had a great time working with her. So I mean, that if you can find that with a writer, that's great, and that will just make your book and the whole experience just flow.
And so
smoothly.
What are you doing in the meantime while you're waiting? I'm sure you're not just sitting in your hands. Like
no, I'm still I'm building up. Yeah, I'm
like for the. I know there's always stuff to do in the business, but like for that book, is the outline already? Are you like finessing it? Are you
no? The outline, the order is sent and paid. It's on ice until she's freed up to do
okay.
it. Yeah. Okay. Everything else is pretty much just waiting for her to start it, and then I'm gonna try a different couple of. I want to try 99 designs for the cover. I haven't used them before, so.
Okay, they're the good one. They're not the.
They're like
they're not 100 covers. No. 99 designs the fairly expensive one.
Yeah, it's like it's $199 for an ebook cover.
Yeah,
and then you get different people to submit like
contests. You've never used Urban Writers for covers?
I have, but I just want to use. I want to try different ones. This is the same thing. How I tried a different formatter for my last book, and like they did amazing, fantastic job, like completely. Because I started to notice that everyone started to use Eddie's service.
Yeah.
So I noticed like a lot of books I could tell were from that, from just how we and they're good. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to have something different.
They had a similar feel.
Well, just like
that's what I mean. So they all had a similar feel.
Yeah. I'm starting to be able to spot a self-published book like from anywhere now.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, for me especially, this was a cookbook for me. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to first off have more pictures.
Yeah.
Because you're only limited, I think, to like 30 pictures. So I got this guy to add more pictures. I want there's 90 recipes. I want a picture for each recipe and just throw. Mm-hmm. And he did an amazing job. Every page was colored. It was just like a really amazing cookbook.
Are you gonna sell that as a color book?
Huh?
You gonna sell it as color or black and white?
No, color, obviously. Okay, yeah. So
I
haven't even launched it yet. I just want to do that right. That goal is to get 100 reviews within the first few days. So
that's interesting. But I think you're at that level where you can like hiring outside freelancers or individuals. You understand the process, and a lot of people don't, because there's risk, and there's
I've got burned so many times,
right? So many kind of just like gone through it, or like you got a little extra cash or patience right now to
that's it too.
You don't want to do that on your first few books, because if you get burned.
Yeah, then you'll get a negative, and that's what happened with Vicky when we were making her lead magnet. We hired someone from Fiverr, and the first time they just did not do terrible, not what she wanted. I'm like, it's okay, just ask for exactly what you want in the revision, and then they did a better job. But that's all part of learning.
Yeah,
the learning experience is that not everything's going to be perfect the first way out. Like I've had to go through so many editors on Upwork, because once Publishing Life stopped their editing service, I had to find one on Upwork, and I just got through so many shitty ones, and then eventually they got the service back, which is good because I liked it. It's a good service, but
hiring,
you have all those available services. As to back in your day when you started, you had to pick everyone individually and basically do all that yourself, right?
There wasn't I'm trying to think back to Cam. He always had a list of here's who I suggest, right? But it wasn't as vetted as well as it is now.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? But so I'm a big fan of freelancers. Once you get to the point, hiring your own, working with your own, and that's why, it's one of the reasons I enjoy working with the Urban Writers, right? It's just because you can work with your individual ones. You can make your own team, now it'll get to the point where you're running into a wait issue, right? You got to wait till somebody's free.
Yeah,
right?
Marco's blowing up fast.
But whereas if you hire your own people, but then you have to have.
Then you have to vet them properly.
You got to vet them properly, but let's say they're all vetted. Then what's the problem?
Waiting on them to vet
No,
them?
you have to make sure you have enough work for them. Otherwise, they're going to start going off and get other work.
Yeah.
And so then that's the.
So you have to.
So that's why it's like you really have to have everything ready to go constantly. Yeah, because otherwise they're just going to have to go get other work.
Especially if you find a good writer, that's a lot of pressure.
Totally, because you want them.
So you gotta
here's
keep
the
them
next
busy,
one.
yeah.
Here's the next one. Here's the next one. Right.
So
So
I just want to have like 5 ready off the top of the bat just to keep them busy for like 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
and that was because that was one of the biggest. I remember with Michelle, one of the writers that I used. That was the thing we always had. It was always 3 books ahead.
Yeah.
Right. So we're like, here's the 3 books we're gonna do. This one, and this one. And so she knew, and it would take her about a month and a bit to complete a book. And so we were always like,
Just speaking of that, I seen a post from I won't say what group it was from, but they got a 30,000 word book in like a few days off of Fiverr. Like the guy covered. I was just like, bro, that should not. That should take a minimum of months.
Like I don't know why people are going to Fiverr for.
Yeah,
but you know what? As I texted something to somebody and he's like, "Calling me surprised," right? It's just like you can shout from the rafters. Use these companies, or don't go to Fiverr for this, or whatever.
Yeah, Fiverr's good service. It's just
but people will always ignore it or miss it or whatever because that's just 1, it's human nature. 2, they just don't listen. 3, they need to learn. They need to, f up themselves, right? Like I've done that. There's been multiple times I've been told by a coach or somebody, a mentor, don't do this, don't do this.
Do it anyways.
I'm gonna do it anyways, and sometimes it works, very rarely, or sometimes it blows up in your face. And you're like, shoot, that's why they told me not to do it. But sometimes you just have to learn it yourself and get, right? Yeah. I've yet to hear one positive story from somebody going to Fiverr getting a book written.
Yeah, not for
that's not lying to me.
Or
right? Like that's just like I had somebody come to me and is it 100 covers?
99 designs.
No, there's another complete scam. They're called 100 covers. If you own 100 covers, you can reach out to me and try to change my mind. Let me see what they are. Okay, so here, take a look at these books. What do you think? How much is that cover?
That's $5. It's just
okay. He paid $100 for these covers. $100 from 100 covers.
No.
Yeah, $100 from 100 covers.
I reject those every time I get those back from the
and I was like, they literally take your 100, they go to Fiverr and pay somebody $5 or $10.
Yeah.
And then they pocket the $90, $95. That's literally what that business model has done.
Yeah.
And they have if you go to their website, they have great looking covers, amazing. And so I've spoken to Ollie about this. And he's like, yeah, I ordered a cover once. It took them 6 weeks, whatever it was. And it was like, I'm like, I could have bought this on Fiverr for about 5 days and 3 days, or for $5 in 3 days. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
What?
And I,
they don't work on it for the first 5.5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like it's just, but you know what? That's always going to be something.
There's always going to be.
There's always right. Yeah,
and that's just the internet.
That's just the internet. That's just life.
Yeah,
like there's people will rip you off here. Lady charges you to drop off a prepaid UPS. Like if you have a package with UPS label on it, all they have to do is fucking scan it, throw it in a box. Yeah. She charges you to do that. It's the only place I flipped out on her. It's the only place I'm like, what do you mean? There's like literally, I could just put it in the pile over there. Like, she's like, no, there's a charge for that. I'm like, yeah, I'm never coming here again.
Yeah.
Like, call those some derogatory terms left. But,
well, it's
like I was just
like skip the dishes and their COVID tax. Their COVID.
Oh,
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
COVID tax? Skip the dishes?
But
We
then
make sure we never use that.
Well, no, the BC government shut them down pretty quick with that.
What do you guys think? Are there any topics or things that you want discussed? I know this was kind of like we had a couple of different areas and avenues and whatnot. We just want to kind of share our thoughts with it as I've been doing this since 2016. You started what,
2018
2018 and we've done, like, you could say, well, like, it's changed my life. I don't know how you feel about yours, but publishing has completely changed my life.
It's definitely opened more doors.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just in a shittier situation than you were.
Yes. Well, you literally went to a third world country. No offense. But
Yeah, but it's well, yeah, because I guess, like, you had a job.
Yeah, I had that crutch that you can always lean back
and
on.
I did it.
Yeah, you
like,
had
I
had
had
out of
nothing.
necessity. Yeah,
like, I did it out of necessity.
Yeah,
right. So it completely
in a country.
Yeah, like, no, I was like, yeah, because I left and I didn't really even have a job up here.
No.
Right, like I was doing the magazine thing for a little bit, but like I hated that.
Sometimes desperation will
like
lead you to do new things. Right?
Yeah, it was crazy, and like I wasn't, I could always like sell tacos.
Yeah,
but
I actually
they'd be the most expensive tacos in Monterey, though.
Look, you want to talk about mistakes that newer publishers do a lot that you're finding, the ones that I'm finding.
I'd love to hear some of the mistakes you think you're finding.
We touched on one with the covers.
Okay.
But people are, I think this will probably go back to when you first started to publish as well, is that titles. People will just either they keyword stuff too much or they try to make the best title and sound it clever. Then you're the customer, like, how would I search for this? It has like how to live your best life if you want to, make money online. It's like, what the hell, who are you trying to sell it to? Like, I see a lot of people in different Facebook groups have that issue where they'll be like, what do you guys think of this cover? And you don't even know what the F they're, who are you trying to sell it to? Or like, what's your key?
I've seen some titles like that.
What direction?
Well, have you seen the new title lesson in the new course?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay, bro, that was like one of the first videos I think I posted.
Okay,
and it's up on the old course right now. You can see it. That as long as they follow that, it'll solve that problem.
Okay.
Because like titles, like, okay, let's do a title right now. Like, why don't we just make a title for a book right now? Give me a title. Like, okay, no, not dog training. That's so done. Okay, let's think of something. Let's give us a niche, guys. Give us a niche. Oh, RVing
and camping.
Very good.
You want to rent an RV to go camping.
Okay, so RVing. Let's do RVing. Yeah. Okay. Title: RVing. Subtitle: The Best Guide to RVing for Beginners. Huh? Rate that out of 10. Anyone who put more than a 1. God. Okay. Okay. So. Well, so what's the first thing in coming up with the title? This is actually cool. I'm getting excited about this. This is the stuff about publishing I love. Right.
The first thing that you can think of when you're coming up with the title, do you want it to stick out from the rest? You look at your competitors' books. What direction are people going in? Type of thing.
I'd say even before that.
Even before that, okay.
What do we need to know right now?
What's the keywords in it?
Nope. What's more important than that?
Who's the customer?
Bingo.
Yeah. Always
step 1. Who's our customer? Right. So I'm thinking, okay, so RVing. So who are we going after? Because
families.
Okay. Families. What type of families?
Probably parents with kids.
Oh shit! Really? Yeah. No, I know parents with kids, but I'm talking. Are we okay? Is it but
like
younger,
like age? No,
teenage, or like, because that would be a different kind of demographic,
I would say,
right? Because right now,
when I think of RVing, I'm thinking of middle mom and dad are probably in their 30s and 40s.
Really? Okay.
Younger kids.
You know how much an RV costs, bro? Have you ever? Do you know how much an RV costs?
I'm planning to go this summer. That's why.
Oh, to rent it?
Yeah, to rent it. To rent
Oh,
it
yeah,
on a
okay.
trip.
I
Not to buy
was
it,
thinking
man.
if we were buying an RV.
That's like.
Oh, I guess, okay. So, but look at that. Look at that right there.
Do you want to buy or rent? Yeah.
Do you want to buy or rent? So, would this book be two different customers then? Would
You
people
could
who
technically split it up.
would customers let me know in the comments if you're liking this discussion? I feel this is probably the best part of the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, because if a customer is buying an RV and wants to go with their family versus a customer who's just
That's
looking for recreation,
Yeah.
and so this is where like understanding who your customer is like the most important.
Customer research. Yeah.
Because we were totally on different pages,
Yeah,
and our books would be completely different then.
I'm thinking renting one.
And I'm like,
planning out. You're thinking, okay, I want to buy one. So the guy who's going to buy one is clearly going to be a millionaire at least.
Our RVs are
those are a few
like
hundred thousand.
a few hundred thousand for like a semi nice one.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, which direction do you
so
want to
let's
go
just
in?
go with rentals.
Yeah, rent.
Renting.
Because I think
Okay.
the majority of people are going to rent them than buy one. I think.
But we'd probably make more money with the buyers because we could charge more premium ads things,
yeah.
right? So, anyways.
Okay. Well, let's go.
This is what I love. This is why, like, people who don't spend time understanding or really thinking about who their customers are miss the boat on everything.
So
rentals.
Yeah, renters. Again, you're going to look for obviously.
So budget friendly is probably
budget friendly. Families, people thinking you could do it summer themed because obviously typically road trip.
You could do summer. You could also do RVing for the fall or winter. You could have 4
Yeah,
weeks.
you could have seasonal. Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
So okay, this is really good actually. It's really cool. It's like we've come up with a great because I know one this niche is profitable already because I know some people on it. So so RVing. So let's just do summer RVing. Summer RVing. So like just like how to have the best summer of your life or how to have the summer of your life RVing with your family.
That's good. Maybe how to say that again.
How to have the summer of your life RVing with your family.
Can we add something stay within a budget or something like that?
That could be subtitle.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That is.
That's the title.
That is the title.
Yeah, to do it on a budget somehow with a budget.
Yeah,
I think would
family friendly or
a family friendly budget.
Yeah, family friendly budget.
Yeah,
or something like that. Like so.
There you go. I mean,
right, like something. Without doing proper research or anything.
Because the money thing will be key, especially for families.
Yes,
100%. Yeah, of the money will be an aspect for sure.
Bro, that's so right. Like, okay, let's come up with one more just for fun.
Let's do the buyers.
Okay.
Now. So you want to because they'll have money won't be an issue. You'll need something that will stick out to them that's like luxurious or a title that will.
It could be something like bought your first RV. Here's what you need to know for first-time RV owners. The 7 things you need to know. Yeah, it's okay. It's it's still better than your beginner's guide.
On like some.
So travel,
how to travel with America and stuff with your first.
Yeah, no, that could be. How to see America through the windshield of your very own RV.
Yeah.
It could be something like that. And I'm thinking like I already got the idea for the cover.
Yeah,
right?
I'm thinking
you're inside
with a cigar just
right?
Like it is.
Yeah. Right? Like I'm thinking nice, no, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like you're looking out the windshield.
Yeah, like the
right, and it's like the camera's from behind you, and it's just
scenery, mountains, or lake, something like peaceful and
just something like that,
very relaxing and with just this bald ass balling out luxury RV.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah,
but like this is what you got to get excited about your thing to But anyways, let us know what you think of some of those. I think the rental one was a lot easier to come up with for a title than the buyer one.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe that's because we're closer to, for people who would be renting RVs, it's more of us. Whereas buying an RV, there's probably way more stuff to look at that
Oh,
people
for sure.
who want to own it, like
Yeah,
way
stuff
more
that we're
research
forgetting,
to do to come up with a proper
Especially
title
if
that's going to
purchase
speak to the buyer. So,
Yeah.
anyways, guys, hey, let us know what you thought of this. We will do this again, so drop your comment on what you want to hear discussed, thoughts or whatever. Appreciate it. Till next time, my name's Emeka. That's Emmanuel. You can always hit us up in the chat or in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And till next time, everyone, take care.